How is it going, everybody? Well, you should know by now before I start getting going, let you know where I've been and what I've been doing. Please let me know that you can hear me okay. So I want to see the chats light up with some thumbs up, with some messages, or whatever. Let me know that you can hear me loud and clear. Oh, man. Okay. It sounds like I can be heard just fine. Awesome. So, man, like, how long has it been? I think literally it's been a month, right? I think if I look at my last posted video on YouTube, it was about a month ago. I had told everybody that I had gotten sick at the last tournament that I went to in Round Rock for the Predator Arcadia Centex 9-ball tournament, Centex tour. Don't really know what it was. Um, don't know if it was, you know what? Don't know if it was the flu. Never really got tested. I just treated the symptoms as usual. And 2 weeks had gone by and I thought I was getting better. I had done a live stream on Facebook only where I announced the winners of my town package giveaway, which I do know that all three of the winners have received their items. I think they've at least made Facebook posts and tagged me in them. And then shortly after that live stream, I started getting worse again. And that's why I haven't been back ever since. At least when I did that live stream, I hardly had any voice. And the only thing now, mind you, like I haven't been like completely off my feet, completely sick for the entire month. Like I've still been working. I've still been able to go throughout my day, but not to the points where like I have been skipping out on league. I've had to tell my teammates like I'm not going into a smoke filled environment when I've got all these symptoms that are still going on. And the last symptom that I still have yet to kick, it still is coughing. I don't know if the coughing is something to do with my upper respiratory. I don't know if it's because of postnasal drip, but I still just have this residual cough that just won't go away. That right there just won't go away. Now, these past couple of days have been great. Like my coughing has been very, very minimal. And that's when I decided, yeah, it's time to get back into the swing of things. And I've had a couple of ideas of recorded content versus live content, but I figured I'd start off easy or easier with live content, and that's just go ahead and just to do some more straight pull. In my absence, though, I have been researching some other stuff to try to bring other types of shows to my platform. And I've been trying to improve the layouts of the show. You'll see one particular improvement, which is really just a color scheme type of change. And that is, I want the scene to match or at least resemble the game that I'm playing. So if anybody knows me well enough, they know that my red is my favorite color, which is why I had kind of a black and red theme for whenever I reviewed my APA 8-ball leagues or league matches, or whenever I play the high run attempt straight pool. Right? So you'll see a green type of color tonight because straight pool, since every rack you're allowed to at least get 14 points, so hence the 14 ball typically is green. I don't know what other type of set where the 14 ball is different, except maybe the Cyclops Zeus set, which I do have. I think the 7 and the 14 are more of a cyanish, bluish type color, but the 14 ball and the 7 ball, or no, not the 4. I'm sorry, did I say the 7 ball? I meant the 6 ball. So no, that would be the 7 and the 15 in the Cyclops Zeus set. So I said that incorrectly. The 7 and the 15 are cyanish blue in the Cyclops Zeus set. but at least in the set that I'm using tonight, the green 6 as well as the green 14. So that's why I'm going to have some sort of green layout. So when I start doing like the 9-ball ghost again, because I will be, I'll have some sort of yellowish type of theme. I haven't built that one yet. And like if I were to do the 10-ball ghost, that would have some sort of bluish type theme. But the newest thing that I'm trying to work on is to be able to have virtual straight pull matches. So if y'all remember when Q Listings and I did did a race to 150 in high run straight pull attempts, where we each took turns by starting with the break ball, run as many points as we can, and when we miss, it's the other player's turn. So I'm working on trying to be able to have guests on my platform and have guests in such a way to where I can commentate on what they're doing or what I think they're doing, and they won't hear me, but you will be able to hear me. And then every now and again, I can still be able to talk to the players, yada, yada. That's going to be one of the newest things that I'm going to be trying to bring to my platform. I did find out I have to build a whole new program because I have to keep score for 2 people. And a couple of statistics. I'm not going to go crazy on the statistics like I do for the individual high run straight pull attempts. But the programs that I currently have do not support what I want to do for having a virtual match of straight pull. So some of my APA teammates have been helping me out with some tests to see how everything looks, see what it's going to be like for me to control everything. And so far it's been so good. And really I'm just trying to finish building the new program that's going to help me keep track of the scores and update the scoreboard as well as build a layout. So yeah, that's pretty much where I've been. That's pretty much what I've been doing. And now I'm back. Or at least I hope I'm going to be back. I mean, I certainly wanted to come back online before I go to the Mosconi Cup, which is next week. I'll be leaving on a plane, so there won't be any content during that, except I might be able to occasionally post a picture here and there. I might be able to go live on my phone here and there, and that'll probably be just to my Facebook page. But I'm not bringing any cameras. I want to go there, enjoy the show, enjoy the matches and stuff. Hopefully, get to meet the players again, get a couple of pictures and stuff like that. And then when I get back, then we'll be back in full swing. All right, now, but before I get started, if you see in the pinned comment, one of the things I need to do here ASAP is announce the winners of the J Flowers Power Jump Cues, plural, that I'm giving away. It's been well over a month since I did that. Excuse me. Since I did that product review video, so that's probably going to be my next live stream that I do here in the next couple of days. So if you're not aware of that giveaway, be sure to check out the pinned comment on Facebook and or YouTube. Watch that video and then follow the instructions that you see at the end to have a chance to be one of the winners. And speaking of Facebook or YouTube, if you haven't done so already, please give the stream a thumbs up, whether you're on Facebook or on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, though, I really would appreciate it if you would share the stream to your profile, to any of your favorite groups and stuff, because that would really help me out. And then excuse me, as far as YouTube is concerned, at least give the stream a thumbs up so that way it helps me out in the YouTube algorithm. So hopefully as time goes by, more people will be able to discover the stream while I'm streaming, or let alone be able to discover the stream after the fact. Okay, so I think that's all of the announcements that I have. Oh, actually, I have one more announcement, which is more like a question that I would like to discuss with everybody, and then I'll get started. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of y'all that are like, start shooting pool, right? And we'll get there. We'll get there. We've got hours for tonight, and we'll get there. But I do have a question for everybody. I've been approached again for the possibility of equipment sponsorship, and Ooh, hold on. I want to see if this is going to work. Give me just a second. I gotta see. Yes, look at that. My new one of my new features, Ashton Lyons. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Oh, this is gonna be so cool. I hope everybody saw that. That is another one of the latest features that I've been added to where whenever I get a new subscription, you'll see a very similar pop-up that you saw there. Whenever I get a super chat like Ashton Lyons did, which I'm very thankful for, you'll see a notification for something like that. If I get a new follower on Facebook, you'll see a very similar notification. And if I get stars, because on Facebook, the super chat equivalent is giving stars. It's basically the same thing as donating money. If I remember correctly, for every star, a star represents a penny. So like 99 stars would be 99 cents. But yeah, that's one of the newest features that I had. I actually got to be able to see it live when I streamed on Facebook when I did the town giveaway. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I'm glad to see that I've got it all set up here in my garage as well. Now, at any rate, the question I have for y'all is I've been approached once again for the possibility of equipment sponsorships. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't see that. So hold on. How long is the delay here? There we go. Ashton says, read my last message because it's too long to send in a donation. So everybody remembers this feature because this is the message that they're talking about. Saying, hey, Chris, if you need help with anything like programming or anything technical, you're a very technical person, you know a lot about computers, so you can help me with anything. I really do appreciate that, Ashton. So yeah, excuse me. If I do have any questions, I mean, I'm always certain to look for help, but do keep in mind that I'm also a computer programmer myself. So I'll usually be doing a lot of digging on my own, but then when I when I basically come up short, that's usually when I'll probably reach out for help. Now, back to the question. So I've actually contemplated wanting to take up the offer on this equipment sponsorship, which means I have to change all my cues because I have to start exclusively using their cues. I'm still trying to work out some details because even though I exclusively use the sponsor's equipment, I still want to be able to do product giveaways of any product that I happen to review. So I know I think the word would be, I think ethical, I think would be the right word. Ethically, if I'm sponsored by a company, I shouldn't really be mentioning any other company's name. I think, to me, that just sounds kind of wrong to do. But if I can get an agreement to where, like, at the very least, the sponsor's equipment will be all over my channel, right? Because I'll be shooting with the cues. But if I want to do a product review of another product, I would hope that I should be able to, kind of like what I've been doing. Because what have I given away so far? I've given away a player's cue way back in the day. I think when I got 100 subscribers, I gave away a player's cue. I've given away a McDermott jump break stinger when I did I think it was the spot shot challenge. The very first spot shot challenge, I gave away a McDermott stinger to the winner of that one. I've given away a Lucasi when I think when I hit 10,000 subscribers or something. And then of course I've given away a couple of J-Flower cues. I've given away a Predator jump break cue. I'm about to give away 2 J-Flowers power jump cues and stuff. So like I want to keep that going. Just like with my sponsorship that I have of Town Billiards, which I almost forgot. why aren't I'll have to fix that later. It's like, why aren't my sponsors like on this screen? They'll be on the next screen. But my sponsor for Talon Billiards, I went ahead and put their Talon brake tip on my Predator BK2 when the old tip flew off. Now that I'm feeling better, I still got to get around to changing one of my Predator cues to have I want to try the Talon Fusion tip. And see if I like it. I mean, just as a test, because it is a harder tip. It's supposed to be like medium in the center and then kind of soft around the edges. I don't know, or softer around the edges of the tip. I literally don't know what that's going to feel like. But if it feels right to me, then I'll probably end up sticking with it. If I don't particularly like it, or I don't like it enough, then I'll most likely change, like, all of my shooting cues will then have Talon soft tips. Because if anybody remembers, my Predator Black 4.5 has a how soft tip, and I mean, I've been enjoying it. There hasn't been anything wrong with it. Is it any better than the Predator Victory Soft that it came with? I would have to say no. I mean, it feels just fine. So to me, that's all that's going to be the deciding factor. So when it comes to this other company that wants to give me an equipment sponsorship, the only other reason why I'm actually also considering it is basically like, because I currently just have a preference for Predator. I've been using their stuff, so I have the Predator. I'm going to be shooting with the Predator Tuxedo tonight. Y'all have seen me shoot with the Predator Icon 4.5. I'm still going to keep all of these cues, but like I said, I just won't be able to use them on my YouTube channel. Or let me rephrase that: I shouldn't use them on my YouTube channel. It's my YouTube channel. I can still do whatever I want on my channel. But what do y'all think? Like, if I can talk them into still allowing me to give away whatever product I want to give away, as far as Q sponsorships, or as far as Q equipment is concerned, if they can agree to that, then I think the sponsorship is probably a good opportunity. Because that's the other thing too. Like, I've already passed up on 2 opportunities so far, because these types of sponsorships aren't things that I quote unquote need. Right? As a software developer that has been in the industry for about going on 17 years now. Like, I'm fairly financially well off, so it's not like I need these sponsorships for any type of financial gain. But there's nothing wrong with having an extra revenue stream, right? I think we all can agree with that. But the main thing is I basically just want to make sure, like, would any of y'all feel that I've sold out if I take any equipment sponsorship? Because I know there's that stigma to where, if a person is sponsored by something and they talk about that something, well, then it becomes a biased review, right? Because you have to say great and wonderful things about whoever is sponsoring you, right? Because then they're not going to sponsor you anymore. But I would hope that I have enough of a reputation to where y'all know I don't do that. Like, I just tell you like it is. I tell you what my preferences are, and then just go, and then just kind of go from there. So, like, I was just curious to know what everyone's opinions would be on that. And this is certainly not wrong. Mr. Edit One says people are gonna hate me no matter what. So I might as well give them a reason to hate me if I decided to take the sponsorship. And you're not wrong, buddy. That's pretty much how it is. I mean, just I've already got haters and I've already got followers just from existing on YouTube. Oh, hello! Here comes the star of the show. You gonna go hide under the table? All right. So I mean, when I've been trying to read the chat and see how everything's been going, but I'll probably have to rewatch and see what everybody's opinions are. But I at least wanted to put that out there, and see what everybody thinks. And like I said, based on some more negotiations between me and the company, then we'll just have to see what happens, because I don't lose anything, right? If I don't take the sponsorship, I don't lose anything. I still do what it is I do. All I have is something to gain, which is just another revenue stream for the extent of the contract, which I don't know if it'll be a year or if it'll be 2 years, but, and of course the contract has to renew itself. And that's the other thing too, like, once the contract is up, if I want to stop being sponsored by them, I could certainly just stop being sponsored by them and go do something else. And yeah, so we'll just have to wait and see. But in the meantime, I just wanted to throw that out there, let y'all know like what's been going on, especially since I've been gone, because all this stuff has been happening since I've been gone. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Now, that being said, let's go ahead and get the show started. So first, I'm going to switch over to this so y'all can see a layout. You can see it's all nice and green. There are my official sponsors up there, Onboard Sportswear and Town. With Onboard Sportswear, I do have an ongoing discount code, but I would actually suggest that you take the Black Friday discount code that's currently going on. If you use my discount code, it's only 10% off, but I think they currently have a Black Friday sale going on, which is 20% off, right? So I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to stack discount codes on top of discount codes. But once the Black Friday sale goes away, if you happen to not buy any of the Onboard Sports apparel, because do remember, they are the company that makes the Mosconi Cup jerseys, then you can use my discount code. I don't even remember what my discount code is, which is a shame on me. It should be Lil Chris, if I remember correctly. No, it's Lil Chris 10 in all caps, LILCHRIS 10, and that gets you 10% off of your purchase. Now, Town Billiards, I did have a giveaway, or I did have a discount code with them, but that discount code is expired. That was when I first got the sponsorship, they gave me a discount code for a month, but that one is expired. But I am affiliated with them, and I haven't decided if I want to be like a vendor for them, because I can be. To where like I can buy equipment from them and sell it from me and distribute it from me, but that requires more work. I already work a 9-to-5 job, plus doing this stuff is a lot of work as well. So I don't know if I want to do that or not. Now, I do see a question before I get started, because Marcel Bustamante wants to know if if I think the Predator radial joint or the Unilock. Personally, I prefer Unilock. I'm a lazy type of person, meaning that, I don't want to just sit there and do this, but I've had cues before that are like that. But with Predator and the quick release, it's just like one turn and the shaft is on, and then one turn and the shaft is off. So yeah, like personally, I would just have to go with Unilock, but I've had cues. I've shot with cues where you do have to screw them in with radial joints, or you have to do a couple of revolutions. I personally just don't see a difference between the two. It's all like, it's really personal preference at that point. Now, here's another cool thing, because before I get started, I do want to show y'all something. Now, I haven't hung these up yet. But oh gosh, you can't even see it. I have to pick this up. But so obviously, if everybody remembers that I was in London last year for the Mosconi Cup, and here we go. I got autographed jerseys by them, and then you can barely see it, but there's a picture of the USA Mosconi Cup team And this is obviously the Mosconi Cup jersey, and there's autographs on, actually on this particular jersey, there's autographs on the back here, which you see, of Team USA, and there's autographs of Team Europe on the front. But I can't show you the autographs of Team Europe, obviously, because the whole thing is encased in a shadow box. So I plan on hanging this up on that wall over there, so you'll eventually be able to see these whenever I do recordings or whenever I do live streams. And for 2022, I've already ordered, or pre-ordered, I should say, I've already pre-ordered the 2022 Mosconi Cup jerseys from Onboard. So here's the Team Europe jerseys. And the team is down there, obviously, and then there's autograph names on them. I eventually got to take close-up pictures of these, and I'll obviously be posting them. But yeah, this will be another cool decorative item to add into my man cave here. So I'm pretty excited about that. But like I said, I just haven't had a chance to hang this up yet. Or hang them up yet, I should say. Okay. Make sure everything is okay. Alright, I need a cough drop. Alright. So let me go ahead and apologize up front for all the coughing that you're still going to hear me do while I'm playing. And I'm also going to be chewing on cough drops like they're candy. But nonetheless, let's get the show started. Let's see what I can do for tonight. Do I have my program open? My program is open. So let's go. Do a couple of attempts, and then take a small break and chit chat with everybody, and then we'll get back at it. I will be playing at a much slower pace. That's the other thing. Ashton Lyons, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. You're saying, when I take a break, could I take a look at my what's in the bag video? Are you talking about on your YouTube channel? Because if so, I can certainly check it out. And as I was saying, you'll be seeing me play at a much slower pace because even in my downtime, my straight pull practice attempts have been terrible, like just outright terrible. And so one of the main things that I've been really trying to work on is making sure I choose a good pattern. I think that's been like my biggest killer. Is the pattern that I choose. So I typically might be doing like multiple rack analysis throughout each rack, but we'll see. So in other words, like I keep studying over and over, like, what am I going to do with this 3-ball clutter? Because at the moment, I'm not sure. It's supposed to be like right here so that way I can use the 5 to try to break it out, but now I can't. All right, so when I look at this, my 6 ball is probably going to have to be my break ball if I can get there. That's been another one of my problems. I hate the fact that I've got this guy out here all by himself. So I probably could have chosen a better pattern. And I missed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a 10. Oh, holy crap. So I must have missed this. Okay, Ashton, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Holy cow. Yes, you have a channel. Okay, cool. I'll be sure to check it out. No problem. But what you just saw there with that miss, that has been the extent of a lot of my straight pull practices. I get down to like the last couple of balls and just mess up somewhere. Mess up on transition, miss a shot like I just did there. And it's been so frustrating. And it happens a lot in the first rack, which is more frustrating. And every time I think I learned something new, I might get to like, I might end up getting like a couple of 30s or whatever. And then all of a sudden, it just goes away to where like I'm lucky if I get out of the first rack again. Another thing I've been trying to work on is to use a more firm or firmer stroke. I typically have a rather soft stroke whenever I play, or softer. that's the problem with my firmer stroke. I want it to be right here for the 9-ball. So toggling between like how hard or soft am I supposed to hit a particular shot. So that in becomes a cue ball control issue. So when I'm staring at that cluster, I can certainly shoot the 2 and break it up. I can shoot the 14 and break it up, or I can just shoot the 9 and try to worry about it later. The problem that I have right now with deciding to go for the cluster is I don't have insurance shots. Like once I go into the cluster, I have to hope I have a shot at something, which means I have to go into the cluster like perfectly. Kind of like that, right? And I have to hope that I have a shot. It's not the most ideal end pattern, but if I can get to the next rack, I just want to make it work. Ah! Alright, so wonderful. I get to the second rack, but this is probably where it ends because I didn't hit the ball hard enough. Let's see what I can find though. I thought I had enough left spin to come out a little bit farther. But yeah, there's nothing I got here as far as using that ball is concerned. Now, I'm trying to remember, I think I can call this ball right here. Trying to remember, this is a super low percent shot. I don't even remember how I'm supposed to shoot it. 7-ball, cross side. I mean, something like that. I gotta figure out how to bend it back to the side pocket. So not much I can do with that since I didn't get good position, good position on the break ball. quite what I had in mind, but whatever. Man. Whoops. Guess I didn't need all that spin. Cue ball control. Let's play the 9 ball. Hey, 10 ball rolled into a nice break ball position. So I've got the 10 and the 4 that I can use. Boy, I'll tell you what. Well, not gonna complain as long as I get to the second rack, because right now for me that's really important. Is getting to the second rack more often. I just gotta get better on my end patterns. pretty straight on the four balls. That's fun. Oh, even if I would have made it, I'm not even sure what I would be able to do. Yuck. Give me something. I actually thought I missed that. That's a more idealistic end pattern. One thing I've been trying to really make sure I do is check where precisely I'm going to hit on the rack. And sometimes I'm right and sometimes I'm wrong, so it gives me an idea of what's going to happen when the cue ball strikes the rack. So it looks like, if I'm measuring this correctly, it looks like I'm going to run into the bottom portion of the 5 ball. So the cue ball is likely to go towards the bottom rail there. Now, since I'm going to draw this, that means I can probably run full into the 5 ball, because I don't want that corner pocket coming into play. Oh, never mind. It still went up. So I was right. I guess I didn't draw it enough. I hit the bottom of the 5. That's why the cue ball goes that way. We're going to try the 7 ball. This is what I mean by insurance balls, because I can do the 15 and then the 1 if I wanted to, but I'm in a good position to shoot this 4 ball. So if I do the same thing and kind of judge where I'm going to hit in this cluster, it looks like I'm going to run into the 12 ball, the bottom of the 12 ball. So that means I'm also going to hit the 3 ball, maybe even the 9 ball. So if I don't hit this too hard, I can kind of get a chain reaction that looks like this, that kind of pushes everything out in the open a little bit more. And then I'll have maybe a shot at this, or maybe a shot at this. I don't want to blast this, but I do kind of want to try to maybe gently open these up a little bit more. Right, I'm taking a harder shot that'll hopefully allow me to finish the rack. I knocked the ball loose. I mean, that's a good thing. I did touch the 3 ball, so technically that should end my run, but I'm only doing cue ball fouls only. As you can see, there goes one of my other alerts letting me know that I got a new subscriber to my channel. So I think I saw the name Kid Cosmic, so thank you so much for subscribing. Oh gosh, I'm sorry for all the coughing. That is not what I had in mind. Do I have a shot at the 14? I do. Okay. I was trying to get position on the 10. There, I was trying to get position on the 3. I failed at that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take a harder shot. That's my break ball, so I don't want to shoot that guy. I'm going to try to play the 5 ball. See, I easily could have got more points, but if I want to keep going, there might have been a better shot, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That means I got 7 more. So 21. How many have I ran total so far? 59. Anybody that's new to my streams, my program that I'm using to update that scoreboard you'll see, when I see that it's told me that I've made 100 balls, that's typically when I'll take a break. I'm at 59 right now. Yeesh. All right. That was cool. I thought I would at least draw into the cluster, but I guess not. Now, I don't want to shoot the 13 now and go into the cluster, because you can see these 3 balls here. So really all I'd be doing is pushing balls that way and making more clusters. So it's not a good idea. I thought if I drew into the cluster this way, I'd be pushing balls this way, which is why that's what I tried to do. It just didn't work. I would like to get to that 11 ball, because then I can try to cut it in and come at the cluster from behind. With the 12-15 combo as a possible backup. I like that. Didn't really get the 10 fit, or did I say 12-15? I meant 10-15 combo. But I have other alternatives. And the rack opened up nicely. Now I just need to not miss. Number 1 rule in pool: don't miss. Which nowadays for me, that's like easier said than done. That one too hard. Trying to get position on that 15. But luckily the 6 is a backup. Oh, man. I thought that would at least bobble its way, because I thought that was pretty good pocket speed. 6, so that's just a 9. Right, so for me, the silly part about this game, which has become my most favorite game now, but also my most hated game. Because when I look at this, I would think like, surely I should be able to get to the second rack. And then I find out that I don't. And the only reason I can think of is one, obviously because I missed, but then two, was my pattern selection. Did my pattern selection and then my cue ball control cause me to miss? Which is why I've been trying to play this a whole lot slower. Just to make sure that I'm picking like an optimal pattern that's like real easy, or should be real easy to execute. Should be, right? Already, that didn't go according to plan because I was supposed to get shape on the 3. But that's okay. You can't always get the position that you plan on. That's just gross. Let me be straight on one of these so I can kind of just pinball back and forth into them, not have to back cut them. There. So that's not bad. That's quite satisfying. I think I chose a really good pattern on that one, which is very satisfying. Well, let me rephrase that. I had a couple of shots there where I had to make a different change. I called one of them, but everything else seemed to do pretty good, or looked pretty good. All right, so so this looks like I'm hitting the top of the 15. So if I draw this, I might come back to the head rail. Ah, but doesn't matter if I miss the break ball. What am I looking at? 82. All right, almost there. Almost break time. Yuck, I don't think I have a shot. Well, maybe I do. I think it's the 13 in the corner. Well, that doesn't count. So that was a 1. That is going to take my average completely. I actually didn't think I had enough of a cut angle where I could attempt to make the 15 ball. Oh, why does that have spin on it? That's terrible. But at least I have a shot. too sharp of an angle to avoid the scratch. Too close to cut. Might be able to bank if I can avoid the double hit. And yeah, there's nothing else I can do. So I'm going to try to bank the 14 and avoid the double hit. Not quite. So 2, 4, 2, 4, 6, 8. That's a 7. Scratch. All right. Crap, I'm going to run into my break ball. If I shoot the 5. The 7 is my break ball. But I guess I might as well so I can stay in the rack. Get it that hard so that way the 7 doesn't tie up with the 13. Guess I should take this 13 out. It doesn't serve any purpose being all the way up here. Man. Underhit, overhit, underhit, overhit. That's that firmer stroke that I'm talking about, where normally I would just like slow roll the ball there. But yeah, hey, that's going to be the break ball. Like, what the heck am I going to do with this? I can't shoot either one of those and bump them out. So that's why I'm saying, like, this is probably going to be the break ball, and I don't want to leave a ball in the rack either. So usually when I see this opportunity, then I'm inclined to maybe try this. Where do I want to be? Or do I want to be? Jeez. Okay. Never mind. Let's see. Stop. I think that's too flat. Yep, it is. I want it to be more like maybe right here. That way I can cut the ball into the side pocket and kind of try to flare the cue ball into the rack. But I don't think I can do that from there. Okay, so, I mean, I can still shoot it and flare the cue ball. It's just that it's kind of a thick hit, so a lot of power is going to get taken off. And I mean, who knows if I would even open the rack if I just waylaid into this. Right now, because it looks like my cue ball is going to come up here, so I can try to spin it into the rack. But like I said, the amount of inertia that's going to get lost on this shot, if I even pull it off. Let alone if I miss. I mean, look at the cue ball, and I would have missed the rack. Ha! I could have called that, but I would have missed the rack. So that's a 14. And that puts me at 104. Okay, so let's take a break. Let's see here. So let's turn this back on. Hi, everybody. And let's turn this on. So there. So anybody that's new to the stream, this is the program that I've been talking about. So we can see, oh, hey, there's one of my moderators. I gotta go ahead and highlight this. Eves, thank you so much for welcoming me back. Really do appreciate it. So what this program helps me do is keep track of scores and statistics that I thought were interesting to keep track of. So what you hopefully can see here is that I've made a total of 9 attempts. Of those 9 attempts, I was able to get to the second rack 5 times, and there were 4 times I couldn't get out of the first rack. So that's actually pretty good. That I have more non-first racks than I do first racks. That's typically what I'm always striving for, is to have more first racks than I do, or more non-first racks than I do first racks. So, of all of those attempts, I've played a total of 14 racks. So how that works is, wait, is that right? Yes, that's right. So when you see that I've gotten to the second rack 5 times, that means I've already completed 5 plus the 5 that I'm on. So that's a total of 10. And then there were 4 times I didn't get out of the first rack. So that's where the 14 comes from. But that's why you also see that I've completed 5 out of 14 racks, which is only 36%. So the total racks and the total balls is always going to be like some sort of arbitrary low number, because the moment I miss, then I'm never going to be at some sort of peak. But I still think it's an interesting statistic. Right, so of 14 racks, if you take 14 and multiply it by 14, that's why you get. I had a possibility of shooting 196 balls without missing, which is why I think that's an interesting statistic to keep. Had I not missed, and If this were my only miss, that shot right there, I'd have 196 points, if you think about it like that. So of the 196 balls, though, between the 9 attempts, I've made a total of 104 balls, which gives me an average of 11 balls per attempt. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Let's see here. Bang Time Pool, you're asking how are the reinforcement dots holding up for the rack, and do I replace many? They hold up pretty well. Usually sometimes I can see when some of them start to raise a little bit. I just press them back down. It's only when, so like the dots that I'm using here, I only use them for straight pull. Whenever I do 10 ball, 9 ball, or whatever, I end up putting a template rack on top of them, because even though I have a template that helps me put those dots down, it's still not perfect. It's not absolutely perfect. So like if I were to play a 9 ball rack on those reinforcement dots, I wouldn't be able to accurately predict where all 9 balls go like I can do when I use a magic rack or an accu rack. So it's not absolutely perfect, but it's good enough for me to play straight pull. So that way I don't have to worry about trying to remove a template rack every time. Or of course I can just do a rack, right? But whenever you do just a regular rack, you run the possibility of having gaps in the rack, and et cetera, et cetera. So this helps mitigate that as much as possible. I eventually want to try to replace these reinforcement labels with the Ghost Rack from Outsville, who I do have an affiliate code. So if you check the link in the description and go to outsville.com, you can use my discount code there, Lil Chris, which is LIL' space capital C HRIS. You can get 10% off your purchase there as well. But they've got the new Ghost Rack that Jason Shaw actually used when he was doing his straight pull attempts again of trying to get 1,000. So those are supposed to be automatically placed, right? It's just you lay them down. I think you're supposed to use a credit card or something to kind of scrape them onto the table or whatever, and then peel them off. I don't remember exactly what the steps are, but I eventually want to try to see how that's going to hold up, and then of course see how quote unquote perfect it is, because that's how I've tested these. Because I first started with the Perma Rack. I'll show you all what I'm talking about there. I first started off with this. This is called the Perma Rack, and you can see there's 15 holes in here. But these holes that are in this template are bigger than reinforcement labels. So when you place this down onto the table and you have to place the reinforcement labels in the hole, there's a huge margin of error, because you have to put the reinforcement perfectly in the center of the hole. If you don't, then the hole's going to be slightly off. You're possibly going to have a gap in the rack, et cetera, et cetera. I eventually, I've done this on my table, and I've done this on a friend's table. And on my friend's table, we actually used this like almost perfectly, to where when I break a 9-ball rack on his table, like I get the expected result that I would want to see. But when I tried it on my own table, there'd be gaps. I'd be slightly off, and once I see that there's a gap, then I would try to gently move the reinforcement label to close the gap, and et cetera, et cetera. And then of course it just gets tiresome to mess with it. Then eventually a gentleman contacted me and sold me this. This is called the Alpha Rack, and these holes that are in this template here, they fit a reinforcement label perfectly. So that way that when you put the reinforcement label in, you'll see that the rim of the reinforcement label, or basically the reinforcement label, will fill the hole, right? So that way if you're slightly off, or if you're on the template, to shift the reinforcement label, et cetera, right? So, but still, even with this, those reinforcement labels aren't perfect. Don't know why. I'm not going to sit here and try to measure out the distance between each holes, make sure they're perfect, 2 1/4, and et cetera, et cetera. But it's it's good enough. And using this is much easier than using the perma rack, because like I said, all I do is make sure is I perfectly try to put the reinforcement labels in each of the holes, and then I'm done. But to answer your question, Bang Time, I don't have to replace all of them all at once. You'll typically see like a couple of them will start to, you'll be able to see that a couple of reinforcement labels start to raise. So those would be the ones that you want to replace. So you just place the template back down on the existing ones, and wherever the empty space is, just plop another reinforcement label, and then you're done. But you're obviously more than welcome to change all of them. Right? There's certainly nothing that's going to stop you from doing that. That's a possibility. As I said, whenever I do any other game other than straight pull, I still use my template racks that are behind me, because those are perfect. Versus these cutout templates, they're not absolutely perfect, but they at least do the job. Wanting to know my GitHub. Let's see here. Am I logged in? I should be logged in. Yeah. So I can do this. So there's my GitHub. Got 2 programs in there so far. The one that you see on my screen right now, which I use to keep track of high run straight pull attempts, and then I've got an APA. I've got an APA scorekeeper that I built that I use for whenever I review my APA league matches. And now I'm working on a third one, which is going to be very, very similar to this one. Very, very similar to this one, but it's going to be for 2 players, not just for one. And that's the program that I'll end up using when I try to start hosting virtual straight pull matches. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, I see I've had some bots come in. Did those get cleaned up? I hope they did. They did get cleaned up. Thank you very much. All right, cool. Okay, so here's a moment where I just basically take a break. If anybody has any questions, I'm more than willing to answer them, and then I'm going to get right back at it. Zia and Thea, I hope I said that correctly. Vlogs, it's good that I'm back. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. The more I keep diving into the more I keep diving into OBS, because that's what I use to stream my software just to do my live streams on, and my restream the restream account that I have, so that way I can hit multiple platforms. I'm debating on if I want to. I have a Twitch account, but when I actually used to stream games, I'm contemplating on whether or not if I want to rebrand that account to Little Chris, because it's not Little Chris. It's my gaming tag is excuse me. My gaming tag is Dragonheart, but I might end up rebranding my Twitch account as Little Chris, and then start streaming there as well. Just to be able to expand my platforms, since I have an existing platform there. Eves, you want to know why am I playing with my tuxedo? Just because, right? There'll be a point in time where I'll switch back to the Icon 4.5, and there'll be times where I'll bring my Predator Black 4.5 in here. Like there's just no particular reason. And this is kind of like, this is what I basically wanted to be able to do the first time I had people, or I had companies come and want to try to offer me equipment sponsorships. Like I have cues, right? I have Viking cues. I have my Sean. I have some Jacobys. If I want to shoot with them, I should be able to shoot with them, right? But when I get the equipment sponsorship, excuse me, I have to exclusively use their stuff, which I guess at this point in my YouTube career, or I should say my YouTube hobby, I think I'm okay with it. In the beginning, in the beginning, I wasn't. Robert Ellison, you thought I was going to Q-Tech? I have Q-Tech cues, right? I have the Shane Van Boning Ghost shooting cue, and I have the Shane Van Boning Ghost break cue. I'm debating on if I want to buy the Propel, the matching Propel, just to have as a collection. That cue or cues would be a cue that I would do a product review on, but I wouldn't be giving that cue away. Like, I'd be keeping that cue. I've mentioned plenty of times before that not all product review videos will feature a giveaway. Most of them will. But like if I were to product review my tuxedo, which there's really no reason for me to product review the tuxedo because you can't find it anywhere anymore. It's not they don't manufacture it anymore. If you did find one, it's probably used. So there's kind of no reason to review my tuxedo. But any of my other playing cues I can certainly review if they're still publicly available. That way, a consumer is given all the information that they will want. Eves, you actually make a very good point. All the SB2s are the same. It's just that all they do is just change the colors. So basically, I could review my tuxedo, which is a black and white configuration, but there are other types of configurations. I've seen black and red. I've seen black and blue, which I think is referred to as the Triton. I've seen black and dark gray, because that's all they're really doing is just changing the color of the points while everything the points and the joint, while everything else remains black. So like you can have that kind of information to help you if you want to buy it or not. That's certainly a thing. Excuse me. Hey, cue ball control sometimes. You're saying suggestion for playing ability tests. Don't want to use only one and learn to shoot test shots better and artificially inflate my score. So that's kind of how I feel about drills, where the drill is essentially a pattern, right? So if the drill is to have you clear a pattern, and let's say it's a very, very, very difficult pattern, the moment you complete the drill, right? Like, do you actually feel like you're a better player? You can certainly say to some extent that you are, because it's a pattern that you haven't been able to complete, but you've now completed it. But the question would be is how often can you complete it, right? Because then that would really show like the improvement versus getting lucky and completing it once. So when I think about drills or something that's supposed to help me play better, I want to be able to work on a very specific skill that's in the game. So like if I'm going to drill bank shots, for example, or if I'm going to drill jump shots, or if I'm going to drill one rail kick shots or two rail kick shots, or if I'm going to drill drawing a ball certain distances, like very specific skills to where I'm practicing on that one specific skill in order to improve that skill, because overall, in the grand scheme of things, that's really what's going to help improve your game. So if the pattern challenge, which I usually like to refer them as, if that pattern challenge has one skill that you're supposed to use in order to complete it, that would probably be a worthwhile drill to be able to do. So because then you're sharpening your skills. I think like one of the most common ones that I've seen is like putting the 4 balls in line and you have to bank them to the cross-side pocket, but you also have to bank them in such a way to where you get automatic position on the next ball and then bank it, right? To me, like that would be a good drill, banking with position four times in a row, right? And if you're an absolute beginner and you can't do that, well, then you'd want to take ball in hand and put the cue ball wherever you want to do all 4 banks in a row. And then once you feel like you can do that, then you can try to graduate and be able to play position for the banks. Like those are, to me, those are drills. When you can actually take a very specific skill that is required in the game and just practice it over and over and over and over until you get it good. That's, to me, that's a drill. Oh, I'm sorry. Here, Vitali L, you're wanting to know what scoring software you're using. One that I built. So if you look at a comment earlier that Eve's posted up above, and I've also posted, I have what's called a GitHub account, which is where I keep all of my source code for stuff that I build. It's open source software. So like, for example, this graphing area that you see here, I didn't build this. I built everything around it, but a follower started following my GitHub account, took my code, and added this graph. So when he submitted that code to my GitHub, I have to approve that I allow his code to get merged into my code. And when I saw what it did, I was like, cool. But his also had theirs had 3 lines on there originally. There was a yellow line that was used for a handicap. And I didn't quite understand the purpose of the handicap. So when I eventually studied all the code that they had put in there, I eventually got rid of the handicap and just have it to where it's just the score and the average. So I just started making my own tweaks to it and stuff. So that's why I created a GitHub account, since I create all these programs that help me run my streams. So that way, if any viewers happen to be programmers and stuff, they would say, like, you know, I should make my program do this, or I should make my program do that. And either whether I get a suggestion from a viewer, or if a viewer just goes to my GitHub account and makes the update themselves, submit it to me for a merge, and I go, yeah, this looks good. Let me go ahead and start using this feature. And that's that. The only thing I know people have requested of me is, can I do this stuff for mobile devices? I most certainly can. The only problem is I haven't built a program for mobile since I worked for the Department of Defense, which is a long time ago. So there'd be a huge learning curve for me to be able to develop an app like this for both Android and iOS. Certainly something I can do, but I just don't have the time to be able to, you know, learn on my own. Like this stuff here that you see me using, it's very easy to build. So it's easier for me to go this route instead. Like I said, I use these programs to help me run my stream. That program is what runs the scoreboard that you see here at the bottom. Every time I update the numbers in the program, it updates the scoreboard for me automatically. That's why I build this stuff. Robert Allison, you're saying my laid area is clean and is putting to you shame. It can be cleaner. There is some debris that's on there, but typically whenever I replace tips, I mean, like, yeah, I do like to keep this area clean, because I do onesie twosies when it comes to repairing the cues or changing my own tips or changing a tip of a fellow pool player in my local area. I actually have 2 shafts here with me that I eventually need to replace. And I told the players I'd have it done by Wednesday, so I'll eventually be firing up the lathe and changing the tips on those. But when I change, I think I'm going to take it's going to be my Icon 4.5 that I end up taking, and I'm going to put the Town Fusion tip on that cue there. So you'll actually see the lathe in action again when I change the tip, as well as testing the tip out on my table. Okay, enough of that blabbing. Let's get back to the game, shall we? I'm currently sitting at 104. So when I hit 204, I'll take another break. Now we're going to do this break, because breaking like this lately has been my kryptonite, to where I might not get out of the first rack a lot. So, as I mentioned before, when I'm doing break shots, now I'm trying to get more into seeing the tangent line to see where I think the ball will hit on the rack, so that way I know even though I'm on the outside, because the rule of thumb says that if you draw a line straight through the object ball, perpendicular to the head rail, parallel to the side rail that you're on, if the cue ball is on this side of that parallel line, you can use topspin to go into the rack and then typically drive the cue ball up to the short rail and then come back out. If you're on the other side of the parallel line, you generally would want to draw into the rack. But that's a rule of thumb, right? So the more you know about what's going to happen, like when I look at this, this tells me if I'm measuring this correctly, I am probably going to hit the top side of the 15 ball. If I'm correct and I hit this with topspin, then what can happen is the cue ball will do this and then arch forward this way. If I hit this with draw, then that's what's going to cause it to pull all the way back here and come back here. If I'm incorrect and I actually hit the bottom of the 8 ball, which I don't know, like I don't think I'm going to hit the bottom of the 8 ball, but if I do hit the bottom of the 8 ball, that causes the cue ball to go this way. All right, so if I hit the bottom of the 8 ball with topspin, as it goes this way, I can try to push it up so that way I can avoid the scratch. Or as it goes this way, I can put draw to draw it to this rail, and I probably would want to put right spin on it as well, so that way when it hits this rail, it spins to this rail and then hopefully comes out somewhere in the open. So the more you know about the break, the better. So if I'm measuring this correctly, and I think I'm going to hit the top of the 15, I'm going to try to draw all the way back here. So when I'm practicing and trying to learn this, I have to watch that cue ball to see how it reacts off of that rack to know if I measured it correctly. So you can see I didn't draw it here, but it did come back. So I think what that means is I still hit the top of the ball, but I hit closer to the middle, closer to the middle of the top of the ball and not closer to the very, very top of the ball. I believe that's what it means because I was able to draw to the side rail coming this way instead of going up that way. So the more I know about that, then the more I can be aware of where I can place my cue ball, which hopefully in the long run is going to start helping me put up some good scores if I can stop missing. Which that in and of itself is a joke, if I can stop missing. And I would have run 100 by now if I could stop missing. Don't tie up. Only thing I don't want you to do is tie up. I didn't think I could hold it, but I have this in the back. I was trying to get position for the 3, but I didn't think I could hit it soft enough for that. harder on himself. 8 ball passes the 10. Should have looked at that. Ugh. All right, that rolled a little too far. I didn't want to have that thin of a back cut. I am notorious for missing back cuts this thin.